AirPods haven't changed much, have they? But is it really that bad? Because, I mean, they're just so dang good. Insert joke about being rich here in the video. But outside of that, it's time for them to get a bit of a facelift. Let's begin. So it's almost March at the time of this video going live, and in fact, March was the last time the base version of AirPods got refreshed. And no, that was not in 2020, that was pre-pandemic 2019, where we thought the biggest problem we were going to run into was, what is the cheese grater Mac Pro actually going to look like? Now we've got much bigger problems, but since then, Apple has been hard at work trying to find out where to take the AirPods next, and since then, we've had countless leaks, countless rumors that AirPods are right around the corner, or just on the cusp of being released, but instead of getting new base model AirPods, Apple has mainly just found ways of making AirPods more expensive. At the end of 2019, they found a way to incorporate active noise cancellation, and that's how we got AirPods Pro, which have been absolutely riddled with software issues, but I still really love mine, especially when mowing the lawn, though undeniably they are more expensive. At $250, I was like, man, after 2019, I'm hoping we can find a way to make AirPods cheaper, and Apple listened and decided to spit directly in our faces. They released AirPods Max for $550, and they were like, you wanted cheaper headphones, you idiots. So I hate saying this, but it is a true fact. Ever since AirPods have came out, they have only gotten more expensive. They came out at the tail end of 2016, if you can believe it. So it's been a long time that Apple has been using that same design. Even when they refreshed them in March of 2019, they were really just kind of a spec boost. They got an improved H1 chip that allowed them to have longer battery life when using the microphone, so especially when doing FaceTime calls and that kind of thing, the battery life lasted longer, but with traditional audio playback, it didn't really change that much, and the design will be turning 5 years old this year, which is why finding out that Apple might actually be tweaking the design a bit kind of gets me excited, because I feel like there's plenty of room for improvement on that original AirPods design, and I was a huge fan of AirPods when they first came out, and I'm still a big fan of that universal fit. They fit in my ears great, they don't fall out, and no, there's not great noise cancellation with that style, but I still think it's really popular and works great for many ears out there. Even if it's not every single ear, it's good. But if you would have told me back in 2016 that that design would remain unchanged until 2021, I would have been pretty surprised. I've been like, really? Apple's fine with that? They don't want to shrink the stems a little bit or improve the audio quality, tinker the design a bit. Thanks to some more recent leaks we've seen, we can tell Apple actually is planning a certain type of facelift, and as you can tell by the design, it looks like they're borrowing a lot from AirPods Pro. It honestly makes a whole lot of sense, considering for a while last year we were getting some reports claiming that there would be an AirPods Pro Lite variant, which never made sense to me to call something Pro but also Lite because it's cheaper, and that version wouldn't have active noise cancellation, and that never made sense to me. But the idea of AirPods Gen 3 not having active noise cancellation makes sense, because you want to have kind of a price difference between, you know, $250 on AirPods Pro but something more affordable for people who don't care about active noise cancellation, but at the same time have some design symmetry with AirPods Pro, which is awesome because I think they look a lot more sleek, a lot more clean. Having the shorter stem, I think, looks a bit more minimal, and once you get used to having AirPods Pro, suddenly going back to regular AirPods, those stems start to feel very, very noticeable and long and unnecessary, and frankly, you just come across as kind of broke. I know, I said I wouldn't make any more rich people jokes with AirPods, but honestly, you can't design AirPods so differently and expect me to not make class jokes about that. It's inevitable, okay? So especially if they can bring over the force sensor and let you pause and play with that little clicker instead of having to tap the side of the AirPod for controls, which honestly always felt a little bit clunky to me, and I never utilize that often anyway. Most of the time I just want to say, you know, hello Siri, and interact with it that way, but the force sensor has been pretty intuitive for me, switching between ANC or pausing music and playing music without taking the AirPods out. Using that little clicker has been great, so if they can bring that over to Gen 3 AirPods as well, of course, that would be much appreciated, alongside better battery life, better audio quality, of course, the run-of-the-mill stuff, but at the same time, the case looks quite a bit narrower than regular AirPods Pro, and that might be because this version of AirPods won't have the little rubber tips that are customizable on the end. Some people don't like the rubber tips, some people do, but I actually have noticed AirPods Pro not staying in my ear as well. Typically, if I end up moving my face a lot or I smile too much, that's where I notice AirPods Pro to be a bit more loose, so if they can find a universal fit that doesn't require require the rubber tip, which I know obviously results in not so great noise cancellation, but this is basic AirPods, okay? The point here should be to be affordable, to be obtainable for more people, and just being able to throw them in your ear and not have to think about it. Not have to think like, ooh, did I put on the small, medium, or large rubber tips for AirPods Pro? Too many options, too much maximalism here. We need a bit more minimalism with our AirPods design choices. Still, however, no reports on multiple colored AirPods coming out, which is a shame because I've literally been asking for more colors of AirPods ever since AirPods have existed. 5 years later, they all seem to just be fine with the white plastic design, which I think has to be marketing or something. Apple thinks it's such an iconic look that they can't stray from that formula, otherwise it won't be as iconic and they'll just blend in with all the millions of other Bluetooth AirPod knockoffs out there. So perhaps that's why there's no color options yet, but seeing a more slim, minimal case updated with a new design so that it doesn't look so dated and gives the AirPods a fresh perspective, and at the same time some better battery life, some better internals, so audio quality is solid. And lastly, I'm really hoping that with AirPods Generation 3, wireless charging can be built into the charge case by default. It should not be an option anymore of like $160 AirPods without a cheek coil. That cheek coil is like 2 cents, Apple, and you know it. But at the same time, I'm really hoping here they can keep the entry price on AirPods 3 to be $160, because honestly, keeping it at $199 and just having $50 more for AirPods Pro feels a little bit too close together, and I feel like there needs to be a tad more range. So there's no rumors to back this up, but I think it would be really awesome if AirPods Generation 3 could start at $159, replacing AirPods 2. Get those off the website. They've been there long enough. We don't need them anymore. And then if you're willing to shell out another $90, a bit more of a healthy gap there, then you can have AirPods Pro with ANC and everything. And then of course, if you're crazy, you can opt for AirPods Max at more than twice the price, right? Because that's fair. Anyways, I'm curious what you guys want in AirPods Generation 3. Feel free to let me know in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I'll see you in the next one.